First of all, it is my pleasure to offer my pranams to my Guru, Sri Ramakrishna Avaru. I am very grateful to him for taking time to come. I am very happy that he is with us. I would request him to come for the next 2 days also and bless us. I think before I start today, I just want ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳು ತಾವು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮಹಾದೇವನವರು ಸುಮಾರು 4 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರವಚನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 5ನೇ ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಕ್ಷಣಿಸಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾರಣ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಆತ್ಮಸಂಯಮ ಯೋಗ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಇದನ್ನ ಮನೋನಿಗ್ರಹ ಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ 15 ಅಧ್ಯಾಯಗಳನ್ನ 3 ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಮೊದಲ 6 ಅಧ್ಯಾಯಗಳು ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಕೊನೆಯ 6 ಅಧ್ಯಾಯಗಳು ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಮಧ್ಯದ 6 ಅಧ್ಯಾಯಗಳು ಭಕ್ತಿಯ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ, ಈ ಕರ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಜೋಡಿಸುವುದು ಹೇಗೆ ಭಕ್ತಿಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒತ್ತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಯೋಗಗಳಲ್ಲದೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯೋಗ, ರಾಜಯೋಗದ ವಿಚಾರವೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮಹಾದೇವನವರು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಜನಜೀವನದ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಅನ್ವಯಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ತುಂಬ ದಿವಸಗಳಿಂದ ಅವರು ಈ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ರೂಪದ ಆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಆ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಪೂರ್ವಾಭ್ಯಾಸೇನ ಯವಶೋಭಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಹಿಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮದಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪುಣ್ಯ ವಿಶೇಷ. ಪೂರ್ವಾಭ್ಯಾಸೇನ ತೇನಿವ ಕ್ರಿಯತೆ ಅವಶೋಭಿ ಸ, ಅವು ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಕಲಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಗುರುಲಿಂಗದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂತಹ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂತಹ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಚಿಂತನೆಯ ಮನೋಭಾವವನ್ನು ಅರಿವಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು 100 ಜನ ಆಸಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ಅದರ ಉಪಯೋಗವನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಶಿಷ್ಯಾದಿಚ್ಛೆ ಪರಾಜ ಎನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಸಂತೋಷ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಇಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು. ಅದರ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಸಕ್ತ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸುಗಳಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯನ್ನ ನಾನು ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಸುಗಮವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಲಿ ಅವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಾದೇವನವರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
We are on the 5th day of this 7-day program, and before I start, there was one message I saw from yes. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತ. So this is a question which says, I wanted to know the relationship between mind and brain. To my understanding, knowledge, memory, experience, we get connected to brain. Thinking thoughts with mind. In meditation, we have to avoid all functions of mind. Sometimes I used to feel brain and mind are same. So please clarify in the See this, there are some problems with English words. Brain is the health andre, at least mind is okay. Now buddhi inta ಒಂದು ಪದ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. We'll take it from our ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. How do you translate buddhi into English? So intellect ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲವರು brain ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So because knowledge, intellect, some of them gets into intellect, some of them gets into brain. So some of these English words are sometimes not necessarily the best way to understand the equivalence of what we are saying. Shraddha is padakke English word nange gottilla. Shanti ee padakke English word nange gottilla. I don't know how to translate Shanti into English or Shraddha, for example. So anyway, if you take Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. See, in Sankhya, there are these 24 elements: Pancha Tanmatras, Pancha Bhutas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Jnanendriyas, 4 into 5, 20. Matte Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Then Mahat, Purusha, Prakriti, Purusha. This is the structure in Sankhya. So if you take that structure, then Chitta means something. So the memory, accumulated experience, knowledge, adella Chitta nalli ide. Sometimes that's how they refer. Buddhi andre adu vichara sambandha. It can process. I gave the example the other day. Buddhi is, if I have to use the modern computer language, Buddhi is like the CPU. It can take from the memory stored data, which is Chitta. Our Chitta is like our memory stored data in computer, and the Buddhi is something which will do the processing. The mind sometimes bring the software program. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So like that it is there. Therefore certainly brain and mind are not same. Brain andre it is a pathological device. Like hridaya andre heart ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬಾರದು. ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಹೃದಯ ಬೇರೆ ಅರ್ಥ. Heart is a pathological device. Similarly, brain is a pathological device. It's a cauliflower sitting here. So I think it is difficult to use these words, and so it is better not to resort to English. Now our original ಪದಗಳನ್ನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So ಚಿತ್ತ, ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಮನಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಃಕರಣಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So I think all these are part of that ಅಂತಃಕರಣಾಸ್. ಮಾಂಡವ್ಯ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಬಹಿಷ್ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಃ, ಅಂತಃಪ್ರಜ್ಞಃ, ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞಃ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು we have to understand. There was another thing on concentration of mind, which we will anyway come. ಈಗ ನಾಳೆ ನಾವು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಬರಬೇಕು. I think we move on. So this whole chapter is on ಧ್ಯಾನ ಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಆತ್ಮ ಸಂಯಮ ಯೋಗ ಅಥವಾ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಅಂತ. So far whatever we have discussed, I think there is one thing which we must be very clear. ಅವರು ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಚಿತ್ತವೃತ್ತಿ ನಿರೋಧ. These thoughts must taper. An untrained mind may have 100 thoughts per minute. An agitated mind may have 1,000 thoughts per second. So I think one of the important reason that we want to do dhyana is this chitta vritti kadme, it has kami agbeku, it has come down. So that is the biggest reason why we have to do dhyana. Adike samadhi is the ultimate stage of it. Tapering of the thoughts comes to such manaha ekagram kritva, all that will happen over a period of time. So it is dhyana, we should always remember. That's why I said, when we climb Mount Everest, let us not worry about Mount Everest, let us worry about the first base camp. And first base camp in the, how do we go to the second base camp? We should not, all things should not put into your mind, it will only destroy our process. I think if the thoughts are tapering, we are on the right road. Samadhi ella aamele nodana, let us not worry too much about samadhi. I think when the thoughts are tapering, we are making a good progress and we are moving. In other words, moment you say that we have to reduce the thoughts, what it means is our mind has moved from nama and rupa. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಇದೆ, ತತ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ನಾಮರೂಪಗಳಿದೆ. ಸಗುಣವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಸಗುಣ attitude, perspective to whatever we see, everything has a name and a form. So I think initially some of the meditation starts with name and form, because that is one way you can at least avoid the other names and forms. But dhyana, in its ultimate goal, dhyana is all about eventually moving away from nama and rupa and go towards the vastu jnana, rather than the peripheral outside. ಇಂದ್ರಿಯ ಅರ್ಥಗಳ ವಿಷಯ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, that is called samadhi, that is the ultimate stage. So all these are preparation for it. So we should know this. See, in management, nam ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು for all the companies, I do a lot of training programs. We say the goal is zero defects. Zero defects, nobody should ask on day one, sir, how will zero defects is impossible in the health. You should not worry about it. You should know the goal. Goal is zero defects. That is how we have made a lot of progress in quality. I have been teaching it for 30 years now. So zero defects is the goal. In the goal, we should not compromise. Goal must be ultimate. Like that, this is the goal in dhyana. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಆ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, that is a different issue. But we should know the ultimate goal for which we are doing the dhyana. It is Swarupa dhyana. Initially, it is all about nama and rupa, but slowly we should be able to be conscious of the fact that nama rupe vihaya. In Mudakoparishad, we'll see how the rivers flow into the ocean. Samudram astam gachanti nama rupe vidhaya anta ಒಂದು ಮಂತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ we will see. I am doing a Mudakoparishad so that we will discuss this. We have just started. So it is our ability to lose the nama and rupa. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Initially we don't have too much prayatna, we can focus on that's why I said ishta devata, kula devata, ಒಂದು ದೀಪ, ನಾಸಿಕಾಗ್ರಂ ಸ್ವಂ, ಭ್ರೂ ಮಧ್ಯೆ, ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Because the first idea is, let us first narrow the thoughts, then the divine grace will take those few steps. Let us not worry too much about this ultimate step, ultimate goal. Ultimate goal ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. We should know what is the ultimate goal, but we should do the right things that Sri Krishna is saying. And this dhyana, this Mudakoparishad mantra is so nice. It says vidyate hridaya grantihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. See, this we are for an ordinary person, for a normal person, there is this chit jada granthi. The chit is fully coiled with the jada. So ಎರಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. because it is so, tightly coiled. On the rope, you suppose to tie it all over the place. It is so close to each other, we don't know what it is. This dhyana, when we say the Nama Rupa, we are slowly moving out of Nama Rupa. What we do is we are uncoiling this Chidjata Granthi. That's what this mantra is saying. Vidyante Hridaya Granthihi. Chidyante Sarva Samshaya. All our doubts will slowly vanish. Doubts will, Paul Brenton, the other day somebody was talking to me. When he met Ramana Maharishi, finally Ramana Maharishi said, we have doubts, you ask who is the doubter. So the doubts actually somewhere go to the background. Doubts ke pramanitva hogbidute. So that is what will happen. Finally, the doubts will all reside. That's why in our Sampradaya, I keep saying this 100 times in my lectures, that we don't have to ask any questions to anyone, but we have to keep all the questions with us. And pariprashna ulagade agbeku. We don't have to throw the question out. It should be with us and we should churn it, because the doubts will just go. It will simply go. That is the methodology that our rishis and seers. If you look at Bhargavi Varani Vidya, that's what happened. He never gives any answer. Satapo tapyata. That's all he says. Tapo brumheti vijaniya. That's what he says every time when he came and asked. Ide namdu paddhati. I think we have to do that pariprashna. So that is what, through that, Chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani. Kshiyante chasya karmani, it doesn't mean we will stop all the work. What it means is all the effects of work will evaporate. We will engage in work. Karma pala hogbidute. Ade chapter 6 nalli helidru. Yogi, sannyasi inda ಏನು difference ಇಲ್ಲ. Karma pala tyaga ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ karma pala tyaga ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. If karma pala tyaga happens, it is as good as karmas will go. See, in Ashtavakra Gita, there is one nice shloka. It says, Pravrittirapi dhirasya nivritti palabhagini, nivrittirapi mudasya pravrittihi upajayate. So like that, we should reach that state where we should be engaged in work, but we should never get tired. We should not even feel we are doing work. That charm will come only with Karma Yoga. The palatyaga madbeku. Moment we give up the fruits of action. Give up the fruits of action means the way it unfolds. We all need some fruits, that's why we are working. But if the fruits come one way or the other, we should not worry about it. Adu prasada buddhi itkondu tagolbeku now. So that when we say kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Drishti sigmele idalla agate. So this is why we do dhyana. I thought since we have covered so much on dhyana, in between I should talk about dhyana once again before we get into our shlokas which we have to carry forward. So we'll go to we saw up to 24 shlokas. So we will start from here. Shanai Shanai Ruparame Buddhya Driti Grihitaya Atma Samstam Mana Kritva Nakinchidapi Chintayet Shanaihi Shanaihi Uparamet Buddhya Driti Grihitaya. That's a single pada only. Atma Samstam Manaha Kritva Nakinchit Api Chintayet. So that is what this shloka is. So he says Shanaihi Shanaihi Uparamet. In fact, the greatest charm of the Indian scriptures, and you see it an ample measure in Bhagavad Gita, is nothing can be any practical than such scriptures. They say, take your time. That's why I've been telling from day one, when it is about spiritual progress, when it is about self-evolution, how much progress, they are all not questions. They will stunt our spiritual growth. We should only make sure we are on the right road. And I have told it a few times. That's what he is saying. Shanaihi, Shanaihi. It's one baby step at a time. We have to be on the right road. We cannot be on the wrong road and we cannot be stagnant. Both are bad. As long as we are on the right road, the emphasis is on moving forward. Now, ಅವರು ಬೇಗ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. All these are irrelevant in spiritual journey. We don't have to do any of these. We know we are on the right path and we have to, best of our abilities, we have to keep moving one step at a time. That's why they say Shanaihi Parame Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya. Dhriti is fortitude. See, this comes from this Sanskrit root Drui Dharane. That is the dhatu. See, this dhatu dhru is for many things. If you look at its usage, firm. That's why the mother earth is called Dharini. Okay? Firmness is one characteristic feature. Otherwise, we will never be here. The kind of assault we do on the earth, all kinds of things we are doing. So dhru is firm, behold, support. Dharani comes as behold, support. That's why dharma also is coming from dhru only, because it has to support all the things in this world, right? Firmness is another, steadfastness, firmness. These are all the meanings. So in that meaning, dhriti. So dhriti, buddhihi dhriti grihitaya. With that single pointed focus of the buddhi on this task, it will take time. That's why I said one may probably spend 6 to 9 months just to find out how to sit closing the eyes. That it may take about 6 to 9 months. Because first, when we start this process, it will be very violent to even close the eyes and sit for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes will look like 5 yugas. In 5 minutes, 50 times we'll open and see the watch. And hardly 20 seconds have gone. This is what happens. Because we have not given that kind of a training to us. We have not even thought about it. That's why this is a very slow process. Krishna is saying, don't worry. There is nothing to be tensed about, nothing to rush about. That's why Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya, with that single pointed focus of the buddhi that I am on the right road, let me go one step at a time. Shanai Shanai Uparame, Atma Samstam Manakritva. All these we saw in the previous shlokas. How you Atmanyeva Atmani Tushyati. All that we saw. How he is in all that. So Atma Samstam Manaha Kritva. Na kinchidapi chintayet. That is the abhyasa. The abhyasa is how these thoughts which this mind brings from so many planes, so many things. So that is the job of the mind. Moment you want to keep the mind a little steady, mind will say, let me see. Whether you win or I win, let us see what happens. You think you are great, let me find out what. So that takes time. Na kinchidapi chintayet. Anya chintanam kimapi na bhavitavyam. I think nothing else. That is why this focus on the Kula Devata or on the Upasana, Swarupa Dhyana, all those are initial good steps. There is nothing wrong. It will lead. Once we master that, it will show us the next step and so on. So, Atma Samstam Manaha Kritva, Nakinchitapi Chintaye. There ಏನು ಚಿಂತನೆ ಬರಬಾರದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. I think all the initial efforts are good efforts. Don't think that's why I said people say I'm closing, white color object is not coming, something is not. We don't have to worry about any of those. We should have such a clarity of mind. The idea is thoughts taper ಆಗಬೇಕು. We should be able to fix the mind on a single object. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಉಪಹಾರ ಅನುಕೂಲವಾಗಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. I think that is where we will start, and I think that's a very good start, and there is a very good journey. And once we do it, the grace of the Lord will befall on us, and we know what is the second step. We don't have to worry too much what is the second step, third step, because our mind, a lot of people who spend a lot of time only dreaming what to do in the future, what will happen in the future, without taking even one step forward. If we start dreaming what are all the things will happen. What will happen in the future is plain dream. The future is a function of what you do now. So therefore, I think we should, in fact, first at least those thoughts we have to leave. So we have to identify, classify all the thoughts one after the other. We have to delete. All that needs time. That's why he says Shanaihi Parame. Let's. That trying to turn the attention inwards is a slow process. Let us do it. let us not feel very otherwise. We will take our own time and we will definitely, let us know when we reach, we will reach. Our Shraddha it could now hope by progress. So this shloka in Bhajagovindam, Sasangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam, Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. Basically, so these are some of the enabling environment for us. ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಸಂಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That gives us an opportunity to reflect and think on it, take it more serious, get a little more strength and courage to try it. So satsangatve, first thing that will happen is, to the extent we do satsanga, that much proportion of time nisanga hogide. Or this 1.5 hours we can actually see some, there are so many serials which starts at 6 o'clock. It will go up night 10:30, 11. So we could have done all that. So nisanga hogide namage. So I think that is the first step. Nisangatve nirmohatvam. The more and more the aparigraha bhava bharate. When we are able to take our mind from many of these things, slowly nirasha nirmama bhava iti helta, but slowly we will start experiencing. That's why nirmohatva will come. More clarity will come about many things in life, and through that we get that nischala tattva. Nirmohatve nischala tattva, nischala tattve jivamuti. So it's the ultimate goal. Let it be there. Let us understand the path in which we are going. So that is what Shankaracharya very nicely says in Bhajagovindam. So na kinchid anyadapi chintaye. Satsangadnalli iranu. Let's be in satsanga as much as possible. Even when you engage in a lot of work, you can be in satsangatva. In fact, ladies are more blessed to do it, especially at home. You can now, with all your gadgets, you can have morning to evening, you can cook, you can do many things, you can have satsanga also. All those advantages are far more. For those who have the freedom of time, I think one can engage in satsanga much more than what is possible. So I think that will be a great step for na kinchidapi chintaye. This is a very nice way we can cultivate this habit and move on, as what Sri Krishna is saying us in this shloka. Yato nischarati manaschanchalamasstiram tatastato niyam yaitat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Yataha nischarati manaha chanchalam astiram. All those are the padas there. Manaha chanchalam astiram. Tataha niyamyaha etat atmani eva vasham nayet. So they're all in sandhi. So yataha tataha. That's how those two words are coming. Now ee maarta idi adu yatra barta ide anta heltidane like that. So yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram. So continuing this process, shanai, one step at a time, one step at a time. Slowly, when we are able to bring down the chatter of the mind chatter kadmi agata irutte, it will kami agata irutte, it will keep on coming down. So yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram tatas. So because whenever this out of, in fact the first line says whenever it goes out, whenever out of chanchala it goes out, the mind tries to always escape, right? That is the job of the mind for an untrained mind. Whenever it tries to slip out, we have to make an effort to bring it back. That's what the second sentence is saying. Yato nischarati bagir hogutte manaha chanchalam astiram manaha chanchalam bagir gachati. That is the initial stages of dhyana. The more we say that this should not happen, it will happen. I gave the other story, no? That the Raja was given this oil by this person and said, you apply this oil, your bald head will go, but don't think of black monkey or some black object or something. Every day, the whole world of black objects come before him before he applies his oil. But this is job of the mind. So mind will do it. Krishna is pointing to us, Sri Krishna is pointing to us, mind will always do it. Moment you say something should not be done, the mind will say, I will do it. So these are the hardest initial part of the exercise. We should be aware of it. And we should be very patiently bring it back. Moment it goes out, bring it back. Moment it goes out, bring it back. That's why he says, Tataha tataha niyamya etat atmanyeva vasham naye. It will always try to slip out. Because this is the natural behavior of an untrained mind. Please understand, this is nothing unusual for an untrained mind. But we think that is the only state of mind, there is nothing else. That is the mistake we are making. That is not its natural state. We have gotten into it and we think that is what it is. We all think we don't have to worry about it. We don't think about it. We don't think we have to do anything about it. No. Every time it goes out, that is how the initial stages of dhyana will always be like that. And that's why continuously we have to practice. So, yataha nischarati manaha chanchalam astiram. Tataha tataha niyamyaitat atmani eva vasham naye. Bring it back again. Bring it back again. When we do this, in our own experience, we will find if you are able to hold the mind for nanoseconds, from that, if you come to 1 second, you have made a huge progress. From 1 second, if you have gone to 1 minute, we have covered a lot of ground. That doesn't mean you have to keep a stopwatch. Don't do that. I'm just saying, if you're able to take the mind back into your fold, even for a small passage of time, that means you have understood how to do it. Then one can keep on repeating it. So this is a very, very important process. So we don't have to feel otherwise. We don't feel it is happening only to me. This is how it is always. So therefore, these are the hardest initial stages of dhyana. Nobody can escape. And that's why it needs long years of practice. Regular practice is inevitable. With Shraddha, we have to do it. And if we do it, we will find that phala will come. We don't have to worry about it. The phala will come. So that's why Sri Krishna says, Tatas tataha niyamyaitat atmani eva vashamnaye. We should remember these shlokas. These shlokas are meant only for understanding that dhyana is a rough road on which we have to travel. It is not an easy road, but we don't have to run away from that. Why should we run away from that? Because he has already given us all the benefits that's why he has told all the benefits before coming here. Deepo, Nengate, Sopama, Smrita, all that he has said. So many good things he has said. Therefore, there is a good reason why we should do it. It is a hard road to travel initially. But once we cross that certain stage, I think the grace of the Lord will make sure that we are on the highway. So we can shift, it's like travel. It is like driving a car in Bangalore. If you have to take a simple example, because you can't go first gear. If you're lucky, you can go in second gear. Moment you go to the third gear, one speed breaker will anyway come. So you have to anyway come back to first gear. So like that. So this initial journey is like driving a car in Bangalore, but that is okay. We should do it because the benefits are huge. And all that we saw yesterday are the reason why we should not worry about it. We should have the Dhrida Vishwasa and Dhrida Prajna, and we should really go along this direction. That's what Sri Krishna is saying. That's why he said Shanai Shanai Uparame. Why he says one step at a time? Because in the next shloka he says the manas will not stay with you. Every now and then it will slip and go away. These are the ways we'll have to understand the real challenges of dhyana. We must do it. Prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham. Prashanta manasam hyenam. Hyenam is the he and then hyenam. Yoginam sukham uttamam. All those are Dvitiya Vibhakti. They are all related to one another. Sukham uttamam. Upaiti shanta rajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. So that is the padacheda here. Prashanta manasam hi enam yoginam sukam uttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. See, you will find in many of the shlokas, he, cha, these are there. Because one, of course, he, the word he also means indeed, it sometimes, na is enough. We say nahi. In Hindi bhi nahi bolta hai. Sanskritanally nahi help you now. Na is enough. The he is only, making it a little more, emphasizes it properly. That is one purpose. But many times in all these padya, there is a meter. So ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷರ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚ ಹಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಅನುಷ್ಟುಪ್ಪ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಕ್ಷರ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿ ಚ ಈ ತರಹ. Sometimes it also adds to the meaning. So he, right? Enam. See the word enam in Sanskrit. See, when you refer to a person or an object, or enam is a pullinga here, person. Second time when you refer, you can use the word enam. That is how the word enam is used. In English also there are usages like that. You can think about it. The enam refers to the, when you refer the first time one person, second time you can point to him like this. That's how the word enam is used. So what is being talked is already being discussed. So prashanta manasam ki enam yoginam. This is talking about that yogi, right? Who that yogi gets that prashanta manas for all the hard work, one step at a time. When the mind is slipping and going, bring it back again. When you do it, prashanta manasam hi enam yoginam sukam uttamam sukam. So that experience which is worthy of all these hard work is prashanta manas. When you say that word prashanta manas itself, there is a certain shanti which comes. That's a very charm of this word. Prashanta manas. Prashanta manasam enam yoginam sukam uttamam upaiti. Right? He reaches that. He ultimately gets that. Shanta rajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. All the kalmashas go. He reaches that state of purity. It is worth all that effort, which is no doubt, without ayasa there is no payasa. Without pain there is no gain in the management. Without pain there is no gain in that. That is what it is. I think these are all universal truth. So if you want a great, somebody wants a gold medal in Olympic, and finally we see him, we clap hands and all that. You don't know how many thousand hours of effort they put. Their food is, and they have no independence in their life. The degrees of freedom is zero, because there is one physician who will be with him or her. There will be one dietitian who will be with him. He will decide how many pieces of carrot you can take at 7 o'clock, whether you can take it at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock also, he will decide. So don't think this gold medal comes just like that. Every great benefit that we get, and there is a great effort behind it. So we don't have to overemphasize this idea. This idea is a fact of life. We cannot say, why are you asking me to do so much? Because the benefit you are asking is, after this, you don't need anything else. We saw all that shloka. We don't need anything else. Right? Nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani is what he said in 3rd chapter. This wish list becomes empty. There is no wish list. There is nothing that I have to achieve in my life. Yesterday, day before yesterday. So if you are asking for such a great benefit, please be ready to put commensurate efforts. That's why in the last 2 shlokas, he said the effort is very high. Immediately, he is once again reminding us that the benefit we get is much higher than the effort. That's why he says, Brahmabhutam akalmasham, Shanta rajasam, Prashanta manasam, upaiti. He achieves all these In fact, the first day I spoke one full session only on this. Why are we taking a Janma? That's what I spoke for the whole of the first 1.5 hours. We spent time as a Prishta Bhumika for this chapter. What for we are spending all our time and effort? Only for this. It's only for this, for nothing else. There was the Swami Ramatirtha. Swami Ramatirtha was a great, he was a Lahore, University of Lahore, professor of mathematics. Sannyasi is a bachelor, sannyasi, as powerful as Vivekananda. His entire works are in 7 volumes. The Woods of God, Wood of God Realization. Adu 7 calico hardbound. 150 rupees, sir. 7 volumes. 7 volumes of treasure, I am telling you. In this country, there is no value for it. I ordered for it in Lucknow, or Samsthan. So I tried. Finally, I found the address on the. They said value payable post. I said okay. That's 106 rupees. 7 volumes in the Wood of God Realization. Some of the lectures are astonishingly good. I keep reading once in a while some lectures. Absolutely fabulous. 7 volumes are there. Very powerful. Once I think Sacramento River. I was hearing in another pravachana, so it suddenly comes to my mind. In the Sacramento River, San Francisco area. He was just put his towel and he was just lying there. So apparently, when American came, he said, "What man? Why are you bringing the Asiatic lethargy here?" This is how the conversation starts. Bring all your lethargy, alasya. ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏಷಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಆಲಸ್ಯ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತಂದು ನೀವು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೀರಾ ಅಂತ like this. So why should I do some work? He asked. Because you will, make be able to earn. He said, why should I earn? Because you can have some whatever things that you want in life. He said, why do I want all that? He said, so this conversation went on. Then he said, finally, that American came to the final answer he gave was, it is to get that complete satisfaction and peace of mind. He said, that's what I am already doing now, don't disturb me. He was very active. Don't think he was really lazy. But why I am saying, the reason why I am saying this story is, we may be working in a company, maybe a professor, maybe running in our own company, all that. What for we do all that? Finally, for this, they are all secondary goals. They are not the primary goal. They are all secondary goals. The primary goal is what is written in this sloka. So that is what is being promised. We are doing all that, we earn money not for checking the bank balance. Then it will be a very painful job. We think that gives us happiness. First day I talked in great detail about all this. We thought that gave happiness. That was not giving happiness. Because Gautama Buddha, when this prince quit left his wife and everybody, and then he stepped out. When he was stopped, he said, if you can give me 2 guarantees, I'll come back. The first thing he asked was, can you tell me there will be no Vardhakya? Can you give me a guarantee nobody will get old? I will not get old. Give me that guarantee, I will walk into this palace. Okay. Then he said, Idi ishtajananam viyogaha na bhavet. Can you guarantee that my near and dear will not die? Give me the guarantee, I will step into this palace again. Because all these are intermediate goals. Please understand. All our near and dear will go. This is Shankaracharya says, Bharya bibhyati tasmin gaye. That's what he says. Finally. This is the ultimate goal. All that we are doing, thinking we will get this. So Jnana also will get this. Therefore, while doing all that, we should spend quality time, seriously understand what is being told in this. Because finally all roads have to reach here only. Where will we go? Finally, we have to come here. Therefore, I think that Prashanta Manas, Prashanta Gambhira Manas, that is what we all want. That Atyantam Sukham. Atyantikam Sukham. That's what in the earlier shloka we saw yesterday. That's what we are looking for, and that's all the last 10 shlokas you read, you understand this is what we are actually doing many things in our life. So how can you say all these are not required? We can't say that. That is why while we engage in work with the karma, with the bhava of karma yoga, we will be able to also do this. We will be able to be very actively engaged in society. Mate sangastu akarmani. So therefore that we cannot run away. We have to put run away. That is it. Na karmana manarambat naish karman purushosmite. We will not evolve without doing engaging work. We will do. Also understand this is required. You need both the tires to take off. The airplane needs both. You cannot, with one tire you can't. You need both the tires to take off. You need pravritti and nivritti. That's why Adi Shankaracharya for his Gita Bhashya Upadgata is say Vevido Vedokto Dharma Pravritti Lakshana Nivritti Lakshana Jagataha Sthiti Karana Praninam Sakshat Abhyudaya Nishrayasa Hetu. We need both. How can we today? The modern society is thinking, I will do this up to the age of 60. I will do everything possible to make money. I will retire on today night. I will sleep tomorrow morning. I will become. I will get up and I am all spiritual. Another 60 years also will not become spiritual. You have to invest when you are 20 years and 30 years. Both that thing have to run on the runway. Both the tires have to be there when you plane runs. Only then it will take off. Otherwise, it will not take off. You have a problem. So pravritti and nivritti is required. This is all nivritti dharma. Therefore, we must put a lot of effort. We must do a great job of doing all this. This is what Krishna is actually trying to say here. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukam ashrute. Evam Yunjan is the present continuous, no? I said doing like this, it is evam Yunjan. All the time connecting yourself like this, be in touch and connect like this. Atmanam Yunjan, Sada Atmanam Evam Yunjan. Evam means like this. Like what? All those have been told in the previous shlokas. This is only a continuation of that shloka. Right? So Yunjan Evam Sadatmanam Yogi Vigata Kalmashaha. Just now he said you will be instantly going to touch with the quintessential nature of yourself. Right? Because of that, Sukena Brahma Samsparsham. You get that sparsha of that Atyanta Anubhava. Aham Brahmasmi Anubhava is lesha. It is only a trace. But that is enough. Because I always give these examples. The greatest and the most powerful dam in the world requires a hairline crack which you cannot see with your naked eye. You need a very huge microscope to see it. And that crack will one day explode the dam. Crack will develop slowly. Crack will become bigger and bigger, and one day it will burst. So like that. We need only that one momentary anubhava. That's all we need. One momentary anubhava is all that we need. Nothing else we need actually. That will come. That's what he says. Brahma samsparsham, even that touch, that momentary ability to even peep, not even have the experience. He experiences that ultimate bliss even for that momentary kind of experience that he gets, because it only strengthens his resolve. He or she will only become stronger in the will and only will make more efforts and then really get that. That is what is the charm of this whole exercise. Therefore, he says, Evam Yunjan Sada Atmanam Vigata Kalmashaha Yogi. That yogi who is purified of all his kalmashas, right? And all the time he is engaging himself in the thought of the Lord. he will momentarily will experience that itself will give him lot of sukha or ananda, whatever you know. And Ananda, Taittiriya Upanishad, and the same passage is there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad with the slight modification, same is there. What is this measure of Ananda? So there is a definition of 10 power 21. 100, 10 times it will go. Shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya, like that it will keep on going. Even that is not the real Ananda. It's only an Ananda Maya. It is not Ananda. The true Ananda is not there. It is only an Anubhava. So that is, even that itself is very large. That kind of an experience, that kind of effort will be rewarded. Therefore, it is important that we should put this a great deal of Shraddha and we have to keep doing it and doing it. We don't have to look around, look for results. All that will happen without our knowledge. It will happen. Edricha Labha Santushta is the most important thing. All these planning for results and getting results have no charm. I am telling you. We have to keep doing, and one day we find some result comes. That's why Krishna said, Edricha Labha Santushta, Bandhua Dito. All that he says in the 18th sloka in chapter 4. Very nicely he says 12 attributes of a great Karma Yogi, you will find that. One of them is Edricha Labha Santushta. How we train ourselves to look for spontaneous Ananda rather than planning for it and then making everything available, and sometimes it doesn't even come, then it's a big problem. We get into another trouble. So that is the most important thing. So he says it will give us that ultimate bliss. Sarva bhutastamātmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Mooru shlokagalu ide. Before the question of Arjuna. Beautiful shlokas which says the greatest benefit of for a yogi who has traveled on the path of dhyana with a reasonable success. Samadarshana will come. This is a great progress in our personal life. If we can experience and practice even an iota of Samadarshana, we have covered a lot of ground in our spiritual journey, I am telling you. Because we are inherently wired to have Bheda. This is how we start. That's why there is a work to be done. Only when there is imperfection, you have to convert it into perfection. So, the Samadarshana Buddhi, even if it comes little, I personally consider we have made a huge progress in our spiritual journey. And we should really aim for it. Next 3-4 slokas, Krishna brings this idea so beautifully. And he says this dhyana will also bring that. If you get that vision of that Samadarshana, you will get to understand how everything is same. That drishti will come. So that is what we are going to see. Already he has used the way Sarvatra Samadarshana, he has said here. He said, Sarva Bhutastam Atma Sarva Bhutani Cha Atmani Ikshate Yoga Yukta Atma Sarvatra Samadarshana. Yoga Yuktatma, one who has mastered this yoga, he got himself completely involved into this dhyana yoga. Yoga Yuktatma. That is describing a person who has covered enough ground in his ability to do this dhyana yoga. That is what he is saying, all these 28 shlokas. So, Yoga Yuktatma, Ikshate. Ikshate is a very keen understanding. It's not just seeing, it is a very keen understanding. Developing that keen understanding, that is called Ikshate. When we use Samiksha, all these words, Iksh is to see. But here, Iksh, see is not seeing, seeing through. We have to use the English word, he sees through it. sees through it ಅಂದ್ರೆ
What is the other side of the
ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂತ
story?
ಬಂದಿದೆ.
What is the opposite of effort?
ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅವಗಮನ ಐತೆ ಅಂತ. That meaning we have to take. Ikshate means he has experience, not just understood. He has experience, and through that experience he has understood.
Sometimes it's good that you don't take any effort because the sweat of trying
it's all out of experience he is able to see the
solution. So just sit back, relax.
Right? And what is that? Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani cha atmani. The entire Manisha Panchaka is on this. Sometime back we saw such a beautiful 5 slokas which brings this idea that very nicely. So I think the sense
That's the other side of the story. People who put a lot of effort, their expectations goes up, and their expectation of change and the expectation from God also goes up.
We have
I totally believe in effort.
It is again the job of the mind. Veda Buddhi ellinda barta ide. Manasya is always divide and rule.
It should be
All
balanced.
the time it will do that job. You know, Nanu,
Because sometimes when you put effort,
also in all these
it can even have a negative consequence.
discuss ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
There are times that you stop.
So you may be sitting there and you will make a statement.
I'll read
The
this
moment you
slide.
make a statement,
Law of reversed
the way I understand the statement is, I first
In
I
some
will belong to my
situations,
group or
the more
opposite
you
group.
put effort, no, the more it
I am telling you, I've
takes
seen
us away
1,000
from the
times.
desired outcome. The more we try, the more it gets worse.
Statement
And
I
I think of
cannot understand objectively. I
situation
first I
where
will belong to
the more we
my
try,
camp or opposite
things
camp.
gets
If you belong
worse.
to opposite camp, I
Like
understand
if
it
you get
differently.
stuck in a quicksand,
This is manas
and you
vyapara.
struggle, the more you struggle, the more you go deep.
If you do something, then
effort is
the mind
counterproductive.
tries say, did you do with real intention or not?
What are the other areas
So,
where
ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ
effort and
ನಿಮಗೆ.
it backfires?
ಅದು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು. ಅದ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಯಾಕೆ ಇದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ? These are all the job of mind. All the time it will divide and rule.
Yes,
So the
sometimes
Veda Buddhi,
too much of effort in a gym can be counterproductive.
ಅದು
You can see.
ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ we are able to understand here.
Yes, possible.
I want to talk about this in a little.
Yeah. Those are extreme levels.
See, the
In some cases,
Samadarshana,
even
we have to be
little bit
very
effort can
careful.
be bad. Gambling.
Samadarshana andre you cannot
Okay.
say that rice and stone are same. So from
Okay, those of you suffer from insomnia,
one,
like sleep issues. You don't get sleep.
tumbler of stone
And
and
you
have
put a lot of effort
agala agala. People
to sleep.
misunderstand it. Samadarshana
And
andre
you put a lot
you
of
should
effort.
go beyond the obvious differences and
Putting a
should
lot
become
of
common.
effort means
But
a lot
there
of
are
energy in your body.
ವ್ಯವಹಾರ
Because a lot of
some
energy
ಬೇಗ
in the body.
required. ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕ
Before you are awake.
ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸಮದರ್ಶನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬೇಕು.
Right?
ಸಮದರ್ಶನ
Sometimes you stop
ಮನೋಭಾವ
fighting.
ಬೇಕು. ವ್ಯವಹಾರನಲ್ಲಿ you can't
just
have ಸಮದರ್ಶನ.
Let it be. You just
In
surrender.
ವ್ಯವಹಾರ there will be a certain ಭೇದ.
And you go off to
And
sleep.
that ಭೇದ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಮದರ್ಶನ
Sometimes
ಬೇಕು ಅದು
efforts are
ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
not so
It
useful.
is something like that.
A person who has stammering
Don't
problem.
think everything is equal. I
I put
remember
a lot of effort. I should not stammer. I should not stammer. I should not stammer. Then he ends up stammering. Too much.
ಅದ್ವೈತ ಗುರುಗಳು ಒಬ್ಬರು ಇದ್ರು. So he had a ಶಿಷ್ಯ. He was teaching wonderfully the Advaita and all that. One day, one elephant came.
What I
So it
usually
all
say
in
is that
inhibited
it's like
state it
when
came.
you're trying to
So
swim
this Guru
against
first
the river,
climbed
the
the
flow of the river, you're putting in so
because
much
the
effort,
Mahoba
but you'll be
saying
in the
go
same
away, go
place.
away, go away because
Whereas
this
if you
elephant is
relax
not in
and
its
allow
normal
the river
ಮದ
to
ಬಂದಿದೆ
take you
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ.
along, then you reach
ಗುರುಗಳು
where you
ಬೇಗ
need to
ಹೋದ್ರ
reach
ಮೇಲೆ
much faster.
ಇವನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಇದು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವರು ಗುರುಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ
One of the
ಅದ್ವೈತ
key
ಎಲ್ಲ
element
ಒಂದು
is
ಅಂತ. So he was just there at the middle of the road.
responsibility
So
for
this elephant
transformation.
just took him and
Okay, there's a
then
big one.
just threw him somewhere. Fortunately he was not dead. Slowly the Guru came.
But then,
ಏನಪ್ಪ ಈ ತರ
if
ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಯಾ
you are
ನೀನು
very
ಅಂತ.
impatient,
He
why
said,
is he
"You
not
only
changing?
taught
Why
me
is he not changing?
Advaita."
Why is he not changing?
Then
Why
the
is he
Guru
not
said,
changing?
I taught you
Sometimes
Advaita.
they change
I saw
fast,
Advaita in
sometimes they take
Mahout and you saw
time.
Advaita in the elephant.
Right.
The difference was only that much.
Some clients take
I
6
also
months
saw
to change.
Advaita. But I saw it in the
Lot of changes in me
Mahout.
itself.
When the Mahout
I've
said
taken some
go
of the
away, I
changes I've
thought
taken
I
long
should
period of
listen to
time.
it.
Some of the
So
changes I made.
ವ್ಯವಹಾರನೇ ಏನೇನೋ ಭೇದಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That is not the point. But ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರುವುದು ಒಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿ
responsibility for
ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. That
transformation.
has to be of very, very high order.
Let the client take it up. But responsibility to create that nurturing
So
environment.
as long
you
as
take it
the
up.
drishti is on
And
nama
if
and
you're
rupa,
impatient, if you're restless, if you're judgmental,
ಒಂದು
you can't
ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ
give them the
ಸ್ಥೂಲ
nurturing
ವಸ್ತು
skills.
ಜ್ಞಾನ.
The
It will be
example that I
always
give is the
ಬೇಡ.
mother hen.
ಸಮದರ್ಶನ ಬರುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Mother hen creates the right temperature. She sits on the
ಬರುವುದೇ
eggs,
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು.
but she does not
Only
break.
when
She
we
never
go
becomes
to that
impatient. She will
ಸ್ವರೂಪದ
not
ವಸ್ತು
break
ದೃಷ್ಟಿ.
the egg from her own
Only
beak,
when we go
which
to
she
the
can easily.
ತತ್ವಾರ್ಥ. So we have
Because
to
if she
go
breaks the
deeper.
egg,
Even in our day to
maybe
day,
you
I am
can make
telling
an
you
omelette,
not
but
just a
life will
spiritual
not come out,
point.
right?
In our day-to-day
She
life, I am
continues
telling
to
you,
give
I
that
personally,
nurturing
I
environment, and
always
then finally
practice
the
it.
egg breaks from
So
within.
many differences will come.
It's a
You
life
know, in the
that
offices,
has to
we
take
have meeting
responsibility to
people.
come
Some
out.
people you like, some people you don't
It's
like,
not the
some
job
people
of the
work
head.
against you. You should be
It's
able
the
to
job of
rise
the chick to break the
beyond
egg
that
from
and
within
then
and come.
take decision. Actually, you are in a much higher position.
Becoming
You
too
have to be
impatient
much
with
beyond all that.
transformation
In the long run,
can
your
take away the nurturing
atmosphere will happen,
space.
and
You
the
create
other
a
crowd
safe
will also
space,
have a lot
you
of
create a
respect for you. All
nurturing
these are not
space,
just for
and you trust the
spiritual. I
process.
am telling you, Samadarshana is
You
a
don't
very
be too
practical
impatient with
meaning.
the
We should
outcome.
not look at all those things.
Let the
You should
client
look at
decide
something
when they
beyond
want,
that.
when they are ready,
You
and
should
when
be
they
able
want.
to look at something
I
beyond
will
all
hold you
these.
with
The
unconditional
differences
positivity.
must narrow down. Whereas
Right? You
lot
hold
of
that
people,
client with
whether it is in
unconditional
office, at
positivity.
home, at
Client
social
has
life
to
here
break
and
that
there,
egg from within.
just the Beda Bhava.
Needs to come.
Because mind, these are all happening in the mind.
So
all
because
that
if you
has
start
been,
putting a
okay,
lot of
Sahasra
effort,
Sirisha,
you are going to
Purusha,
anticipate pain,
Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad,
anxiety,
now help you Andre,
and which
you
will lead
cannot
to
count
impatience,
1,000.
which
Ali,
can spoil
atta
the
illa ali.
relationship.
It is not, some Purusha is
So
having
that
1,000
interior
heads and
decoration that I
1,000
mentioned,
legs and
what is the
1,000
most
hands.
important
That's
element
not
of
it.
that interior decoration that can
Everywhere.
make that
I mean, 1,000 is an
coaching space or
indication of
counseling
that
space a wonderful
oneness.
space.
It is everywhere.
What is the most important thing that can add,
Everywhere we will be able to see something common. There will be
can make that
differences
space
also.
a wonderful space.
You should not stop with differences. What we do today, by and large, we stop with differences. We don't want to go up to the point of commonality. I am telling you, even in our Vyavahara, this is very useful. We have to understand in everything there is a point of commonality and there is a point of difference. Many times we stop at the point of difference because our mind goes only that far. We have not trained our mind a little bit. In other words, mind must be trained to look at the content, not the container.
And we have unconditional, even if the client does not trust,
you should not make judgment on container.
Trust.
ನನಗೆ ಗುರುದೇವ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಾನಂದರು ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಅವರು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. There was one
human potential.
He was in Bombay. I heard it again somewhere. I will always stay in Bombay. Suddenly it comes, I think.
If you go to a
He
hospital,
was in Bombay and there was I think 20-30 days.
Disturbed. If the doctor's hand is shaking,
there was one person who was sent to a lady every day. He was bringing something. So this fellow, he was looking at the content, not the container.
Right?
He said, why is the Swamiji is asking me to go to that lady's house every day and all that? He got very perplexed.
Right? You'll be all right.
Somehow,
and the patient comes.
Somehow, this
but if the doctor
great
himself
people
gets
know
scared,
what is, they know what is happening. Actually, it was an aushadha, which was a special kind of a thing that was being done every day. So this person did not know what was in the
calm,
so
and has a positivity inside.
jnanam vastu jnanam nasti patra jnanam. So without the jnana of what is inside, if you start making your impressions and decisions based on what is outside,
most important element is your calmness.
It will be a lot of beda only.
Right.
You have to make effort
and
or you have to train the mind. You have to train the mind to move beyond that jnana.
But this is to be used.
Samadarshana Bhava is a good byproduct of jnana.
Intention, Viktor Frankl says.
ನಿಶ್ಚಯವಾಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
Basically, intention is to have opposite of intention of.
So this is what it is. This Beda Bhava is an expression of tamas. There is a certain tamas and rajas.
So you say,
I do not say tamas alone. It is all tamas and rajas. But tamas ಇಂದ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು
hold that.
ಮೂಢ ಭಾವ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. Just using your tamas just to say you are foolish. You have not seen through the truth.
And you will sleep off.
Okay? So the Beda Bhava is differentiate everything. You nammavane illa.
Right. Because his anxiety comes because you want something
if I am in
much, you crave for something.
if I am born in Karnataka, I am a Kannadiga, then I will say even nammavane illa even atara itara helti. Moment I go to Bombay,
in some cases
that subdivision will go. Say now you are Kannadiga, avaru Tamil anta heltare. Sometimes as parents we say, even if my kids don't do well, Papa will always be there. Always different.
My love for my children is not conditional whether we are successful.
We look at only at the surface.
I respect
very superficial in the health.
Is not
Dirgha chetana sukshma avagamana ella sthula. Okay, top layer adinda na jaasti hogta illa. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಹೋಗೋದು. ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಈಗ ಏನೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಾವು ಅವಗಮನ ಅದರಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಏನೋ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. My mind will work on all these kinds of things.
Because that has nothing to do
Very transactional.
I respect you for your
ಒಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು I take a decision, I take a conclusion ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. I don't see
that was
beyond
so
that.
powerful.
And it is changing all the time. These are all happening to us many times in many things that we do. We have to reflect on all these things.
Yeah, so
that means we have
the
a lot of
respect that we have
Bhava.
for our clients
ನಮಗೆ
and the
ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಭಾವ
unconditional
ಇಲ್ಲ.
positive
ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಭಾವ
regard.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ the
I
oneness of
respect you,
everything.
and my respect for
Beyond
you
the
is
obvious.
unconditional.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಶಾಲ ಒಂದು ಚಿಂತನೆ
So my
ಬರುತ್ತೆ,
respect for
ವಿಶಾಲ
my
ಬುದ್ಧಿ,
clients is
ವಿಶಾಲ
not
ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರ
conditional.
ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಶಾಲ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ.
Irrespective of whether they transform or don't transform, I continue to
ಗಾಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂದ ಏನೇನೋ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ. They are trying to find out the God particle. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, but they are trying the God particle. Huge experiments are happening to locate the God particle. ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು
and when you are in the process,
that unchanging part, that jnana will bring us to that.
It's a state of flow state, very present.
Bhava. That unchanging part will give us all these realization.
You don't even know how it goes.
You
are completely present,
very
completely in the moment, and that's a state that we need to focus on. So
all shlokas
yes, end result
explained
is also
in
there
different
somewhere in
ways.
the
Next
background.
one or two shlokas.
But then it's
Yomam
so
pashyati
complete
sarvatra
presence.
sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham
That's some of
na
the fundamental
pranashyami
qualities. I will
achamena
summarize these fundamental
pranashyati.
qualities as you are relaxed, you are present, and you are compassionate.
Yaha mam pashyati
Sir,
sarvatra.
can you just with an example? What does
That
exactly
person
a
sees
compassion?
me in everything.
Compassionate
ಅದು
is
ಯಾವ್ದು ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಸಕಲ
see,
ಜೀವರಾಶಿಗಳು,
empathy is,
ಅದು ಜಡಪದಗಳು ಇರಲಿ, ರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್
to
ರಿವರ್ಸ್
understand
ಇರಲಿ,
someone's pain.
plants and animals ಇರಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್,
That is
I
empathy.
am able to see.
You truly understand. You
See,
get
there
into
is
the
this
shoes of
18th
another
shloka in
person.
chapter
You
5.
truly understand what somebody is
Pandita
going.
samadarshina.
So somebody
Panditasta
travels a lot
sapatasta
and comes to
pandita
your house, and
samadarshina.
you can sense
ಅಲ್ಲಿ
this
ಉದಾಹರಣೆ
person
ಎಲ್ಲ
is
ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ,
thirsty and this person is hungry.
right?
You can,
That's what
you can
it
truly
is.
understand another person.
That's what he says.
My understanding of
Yomam
compassion
pashyati
is,
sarvatra
compassion is
sarvam cha mayi
one step
pashyati.
ahead of it.
He is able to see
Compassion
all
means
that in me.
you act on
ಈ
it.
ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಮಾತುಕೆ
Compassion is
ಎರಡು
something
ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್
that
ಇದೆ
not only that
ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ.
you are kind, but you also do
ಯೋಮಾಂ
something in that
ಪಶ್ಯತಿ
direction.
ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 10 ಆಫ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ.
It's
ವಿಭೂತಿ
a
ಯೋಗ
part of, it's not,
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಮಾಂ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ ಸರ್ವತ್ರ.
empathy is only when you are in a state of empathy.
That's what you will find.
As you are
72
listening
ಉದಾಹರಣೆ
and
ಇದೆ
you are
ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
empathetic, but you,
ಅದು
when you are
ಉದಾಹರಣೆ
not
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
listening,
ಅದು
you are not in that
celestial
state of
objects ಇರಲಿ,
But
trees
compassion
ಇರಲಿ,
is kind of a
rivers ಇರಲಿ,
person's
animals
character.
ಇರಲಿ, ಮಾದಾನ
And a
ಮಾಸಾನಂ
compassion
ಮಾರ್ಗಶೀರ್ಷೋಸ್ಮಿ
always reaches
ಋತೂನಾಂ
out.
ಕುಸುಮಾಕರಃ ಪಾಂಡವಾನಾಂ
Can be
ಧನಂಜಯಃ, ಏನೇನೋ
or can be
ಉದಾಹರಣೆ.
supported,
ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲಿ,
can in some way,
ಧೃತಿ,
some contribution.
ಏನೇನೋ. He has given 72 exams. Chapter 10 talks about
It's kind of a character.
ಅರ್ಧ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಅರ್ಧ ಮಾತು ಯೋಮಾಂ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ
Like
ಸರ್ವತ್ರ.
we have
If
Hitlers,
you have to understand, read
and we
chapter 10 of
have
Bhagavad
so
Gita.
many other evils.
Sarvam cha mayi
And they have
pashyati. If you want to
struck this
understand, read
execution
chapter
point.
11 of Bhagavad Gita.
So not only they come up with evil thoughts, they
Vishwarupa
also
Darshana.
execute their evil thoughts in a
ಇದು
very
ಏನಂದ್ರೆ
efficient way.
ತುಂಬಾ ವಿಶೇಷ.
They are
This
masters
is
of
not a very
execution.
casual. That's why I'm
So a
saying every
compassionate
one
person
of
not
these
only has
words
a good
and
feeling,
these letters
but
and
he
these
also reaches out to
ಪದಗಳು ಇದು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್
people.
ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇದೆ.
and he
Suppose
contributes to
I bring 10,000 objects made of gold. Gold
a kind
stud,
feeling, but
gold bangle,
also
gold necklace,
when needed,
gold ring
he can
ಇದೆ, ಏನೋ
stand by people,
ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ
he can
ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
support people.
ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ವುಡನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್,
Relaxed,
I
present,
show
and a
wooden table,
compassionate
wooden
person.
artifact, wooden door, wooden
Yes.
windows, ಏನೋ ಇರಲಿ, ಒಂದು 10,000 objects give us every day I am showing. Suppose you just think like that. Every day I am showing different objects of gold. ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ.
Sympathy, you feel a sense of that.
ಈ
There's
ಎಲ್ಲ
some
ಬರುತ್ತೆ
sense of
ಗೋಲ್ಡ್
superiority.
So now I know these are all 10,000
So you
things I
feel
can get out
that
of
you are
gold.
better off than somebody, and you
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ
feel very
ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ
sympathetic.
ಆಗಿದೆ.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Suppose.
poor fellow.
That is the first part of
So when you
this
say, oh,
mantra.
poor fellow, you are
One
saying,
day
I'm
after this
superior, you are
knowledge
not.
you have got so well, one day I will come and
Compassion
show
is
you
a
one
is a
piece of
beautiful
gold,
character to develop.
one
And
block of gold.
one who
I
is
come and show you one
compassionate
one
is a very
block of
valuable
gold,
person to the
you will see the 10,000
society.
objects there.
The society
You will
benefits
see,
from a
because that is what you have been trained.
So we also
Moment I
say,
show you,
describe the attributes of God as
Moment I
being
show you one
Yeah.
lump of gold, you will see the world of objects coming out of gold. That's what Krishna is saying. He's saying, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. You learn to see me everywhere. First you learn that. Then when I see, when one day you see, Nan Darshana Ardakshan, you will note. That's what Vishwarupa Darshana, chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita.
Some fundamental elements of therapy.
First part is called one in many. Second part is called many in one.
Group. If
You want a simple English word. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra is one in many. This one particle is in many of these. Second part is many in one. That is Vishwarupa Darshana. So, without knowing that, people without knowing that they laugh at chapter 11. They say, how can you do Bhishma there? How can you see Drona there? That means Nimke Adhikti Bandilla. Divyam Dadami Dekhatsu means I make you realize chapter 10 so well. When Vibhuti Bhage Nimke Olle Adhikti Bandide. If that happens, you will see. You don't need anything else.
Before I mother tongue, there is a very nice some relationship.
Kallai Kandal Naye Kanam, Naye Kandal Kallai Kanam. If you see the stone, you don't see the dog. If you see the dog, you don't see the stone. This is one matter ide. Enandre for an artist, in the stone you see a dog. Because an artist all the time creates things out of a stone. So, for an artist, when you show him a stone, he sees dog there, a horse there, because he has created all of them. For an ordinary person, you show him a nice dog made of stone, he sees stone there.
So this particular exercise is called x-axis
proverb Tamil bhashanalli
bರುತ್ತೆ. Important thinking
Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati. If you have developed that, Nimke Amritatva Bandide. That's what Krishna is saying. You have already reached immortality. That's what immortality. Immortality is not what they are showing in the movies. One day some smoke will come, one aeroplane will come, and then you get onto it, and then finally you disappear in the smoke. Adalla illa. Here and now,
so what is reliability?
He will get that Amritatva bhava, and that is Amritatva. That's why he says, Satyaham na pranashyami. He is not separated, he is not destroyed from me. That's what is na pranashyami, Satyame na pranashyati. He will not also lose me at all. So it is a 24/7 feeling that Bambidate. You have to pray for it every day. When it will happen to us, I do not know. But I think we must pray for it. Our prayers will be always heard. Who said our prayers will be heard? Na Kaschit Kalyana is going to say.
What is that characteristic? How do you say I can develop? What does that person do?
Who said it will not be heard? I think we should know what we should be asked. They use management and professor of management. So all these lot of things that we do there. So we use a word called aspirational. You have to be aspirational.
They are there when you need them.
Aspirational. Yes, I have to be aspirational.
They are there when you need them.
Okay, they are there physically.
What
They are
is
there.
that? Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra.
One example, that's
Sarvam
practical.
Pashyati.
They do what they say that they will.
Excellent.
I want to be
Okay,
aspirational
so
like
if they
this.
promise something, I'll be at 4
We
o'clock.
should pray and
We will be
endure
there.
for it. It will come
They
to
say,
us.
I'll
Again,
get you
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 10
this.
ಜನ್ಮ ಆಗಲಿ
We will get you
ಏನಾಗಲಿ
that.
ನಾವೊಂದು 10
And they keep their
10 ಸಾವಿರ ಜನ್ಮ ಆಯ್ತು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೋಟಿ ಜನ್ಮ ಆಯ್ತು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸತ್ಸಂಗ
So they keep
ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ
their word. They are
ಸೊ ಯು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ
calm,
ಕ್ರಾಸ್ 10,000 ಜನ್ಮ
right? And
ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆನ್ ದ
they say
ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಎಂಡ್
something
ನಾವು
you can trust
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು
because
100
they
ಜನ್ಮ
will
ಆಗಲಿ
keep their
ಏನು
word.
ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್
And make them they are
praying
there.
for it.
Is it highly
So
committed?
this is the aspiration for us.
Yeah,
Reliability is committed.
yeah, it's a highly commitment.
So if the
So
Ramakrishna
sometimes we
lecture
say the service of
okay.
Samsung, or service
So
of
our
Apple is
world,
reliable.
because it says Omam Sarvatra Pashyati,
Is in the sense they are there.
Sarvam
If
Tamai
my laptop
Pashyati. Why
breaks
is
down,
he
they are
saying?
there.
Because this world
And they
will be
will
always
promptly
looking very, very
repair it and
different.
give it to you.
We are living in this world.
We say, okay, we can trust.
This world is all have Upadhi Dharma.
Someone who respects his own words
Upadhi,
and commitment.
adella Upadhi Dharma.
Someone who
So,
respects their own
so many
words.
things, you know, there will be a multiplicity of times and
Yeah,
states
Sir,
and
all next
some
7
mind
years
immediately will start classifying.
that,
These are all not my
the
categories, these are all
training
that category,
imparted
these are all these
by you is
categories.
so
These are how good they manasu. Because the world is like this. The world as you see it,
Yes, I agree.
ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ. ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, multiplicity of forms, shapes and entities.
So, yeah.
So our lens is always Veda and we have so many varieties
So
of
we
Veda.
divide this into 4
ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ It says Swagata Beda, Sajatiya Beda, Vijatiya Beda.
So this particular way of thinking is called
Okay.
quadrant thinking.
So Vijatiya Beda means cows are different from monkeys, monkeys are different from human beings, like that. Sajatiya Beda, Americans are different, we are human beings. Adu olagade ondu Beda.
You are given a topic.
Americans are different from Indians, Indians are different from Kenyans, Kenyans are different from Itara. Now
you can use Microsoft PowerPoint.
then you have Swagata Beda.
Zooms,
You take a tree,
notepads.
leaf is different from fruit, fruit is different from flower, flower is different from stem, stem is different from trunk.
You can just make a
ಅದು
snapshot.
ಒಂದೇ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಭೇದ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. There is no limit
you
to
create
which
4
you can
quadrants.
constantly develop the Veda Buddhi. That's why I am saying all this.
Let me name this quadrant.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂದೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ
Let
ಹಿಂದೆ
me
ನಾವು
call this as
ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು.
quadrant 1. Let me call this as quadrant 2.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ
And let
to
me call this
handle
quadrant as
all
3.
these differences is what
And let
modern
me call
science
this
is helping us.
quadrant as 4. Right?
Modern science, that's why I
All
call
of you know what is
MBA.
anxiety?
MBA means Manas Buddhi Ahankara Etesham
State
Vardhan.
of being anxious.
Yeah,
ಅದೇ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ 24/7.
Restlessness.
ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು
Yeah.
ಮನಸ್ಸು
So
ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಬಿಡಿ.
it comes mostly under
ಬುದ್ಧಿ
fear.
ಇದರಿಂದ
family. It's some
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ
kind of a
ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
fear about future.
ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇದರಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ
Uneasiness.
ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Uneasiness.
It's an uneasiness
ಅವರೇ
about
ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್
something
ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್
that which
ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್.
I'm
ಒಂದು
anxious
ಲೆಸನ್
about my
ಮಾಡಲ್
exam.
ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ.
My
So we are also
my
now
son
in
has
the
to
middle
take
of the
a
road.
bike
We don't
and
know
go
what
on
to
a
do.
land
But
set.
technically
I'm
ಇದೆ ನಾವು
anxious.
ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ.
Anxiety
So
is
this
mostly
all
comes under
these
fear family.
tools that we have
It's
understood
kind of
in
an uneasy
Vyavaharika
feeling.
is to further this Veda.
Some kind of a
So now
fear
Vyavaharanalli
that
ಯಾವಾಗ
something is going to go
ಇರುತ್ತೋ,
wrong.
that time we should understand that there is only up to a point we should
So quadrant 1.
understand this
What
existence
could
of
be
Veda. Then
the
beyond that
characteristic
we
of
are
a
able to
person
see
whose
the
reliability is low,
Buddhi
anxiety
we
is also
develop.
low? How could
Even
you
our
describe the
Vyavahara
characteristic of that
will
person?
become very pure. Our Vyavahara will rise several layers above. I am really
Okay, so
telling
you
you,
can see here,
if we can bring a
it's
little
low,
bit of Aikya
reliability is low,
Samatva Bhava,
and
even our day-to-day
anxiety is also low.
transactions will be
So how would you
elevated.
describe this person?
He'll
ಅದು
be
ಏನು ಇದು ಆಗಲ್ಲ. I will tell
He'll
you.
be fickle
I
minded.
have my own little
Fickle
experience.
minded.
That's how I have lived in my
Fickle-minded.
small little ways my life.
Stupid,
I can go
Okay.
beyond the differences and
Easygoing.
also see a little bit of common things.
easy going.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೇದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Say, you
ಅದರಿಂದ
can say
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
it
ಐಕ್ಯ
is,
ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬೇಕಲೇಬೇಕು.
Unaffected.
That Vyavahara will be better
Unaffected.
any day than purely what we are doing with only
Ignorance
differentiating,
is
divide and
bliss.
rule. Britishers ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ divide and rule ಅಂತ.
Okay.
ಮನಸ್ಸು ಇದೇ
Lethargic.
ಮಾಡ್ತಾ
A lot
ಇದೆ.
of follow-up will be required, assurance, you won't get back or assure you, so.
So ಇದು
a lot
ಸ್ವಾಮಿ
of that
ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ
will be
ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್
required.
ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ.
Okay.
ಈ
Because he's
ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್
low on reliability,
ಏನು
and,
ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ?
right, so he doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you draw a
confidence
circle.
that he can be
Navila,
relied on. So he takes it,
6 circles ಇದೆ.
like,
ನೋಡಿ circle 1, circle 2,
like a
circle
very,
3, circle 4, circle 5, circle 6.
very,
ನೀವು ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ as the circle
getting the
becomes
word, I'm
bigger
sorry.
and bigger and bigger.
very lightly,
ನಾನು
you know,
Yeah.
and you
Figure
have
really
to
ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
still
ಅವಾಗ
reinstill
ನಾನು
the
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ
seriousness of
ನಾನು
the
figures
task or
ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ
whatever
instead of
you're
talking about it.
doing.
It could be easy going, like it's already
Circle
mentioned. Like,
becomes
easy
bigger and
detached.
bigger.
Manoj,
What you will notice
detached.
is the
Possible
crookedness of the
Okay.
curvature will
All of you,
reduce.
which word you like?
ನೋಡಿ
Of course, when you go to breakout,
ಚಿನ್ನ
room, we
ಸರ್ಕಲ್
can have a
ವೆರಿ
voting.
ಕ್ರೂಕಡ್ ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ.
Unaffected.
ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿದೆ.
Easy
Alva?
going. Easy going.
As the circle becomes bigger and
So
bigger,
this easy
the
going,
degree
we
of
will highlight
crookedness
it
reduces.
here.
This is the word he uses in his
Easy
lecture.
going, right?
The curvature
Okay,
is
so
better,
this
no?
is
As
what
it becomes bigger,
we will call a
and the
person.
infinite
Yeah,
circle,
he's a easy going
mathematics
guy.
teach ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Reliability is very
Infinite
low.
circle is the
Anxiety
line.
is also very low.
N ನಿಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
So he's a
ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
easy going
N
guy.
equal to some
So you can see there is a connection
100,000
between
million
reliability
ಕೋಟಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು
and
ಅಷ್ಟು ರೇಡಿಯಸ್
anxiety.
ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು
When
ಒಂದು
both
ಸರ್ಕಲ್
are low,
ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್
it
ಲುಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ
changes
ಲೈನ್
the personality of a person.
ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Now,
ನಮ್ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ
second
ಬೇರೆ ಏನು
is
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತೇ
anxiety is
ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
high.
ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಅದು.
correct, na? In
Huh?
quadrant
He
2,
says
anxiety is
that is
high
what
and
people
reliability
like.
is.
ನಾನು ನಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ 1.
What kind of a person
ನನ್ನ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ,
who has very high
ನನ್ನ
anxiety but
ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕ
no
ಇರೋರು
Emotionally
ಸರ್ಕಲ್ 3,
imbalanced.
ನಮ್ ಜಾತಿಯರು ಸರ್ಕಲ್ 4,
emotionally
ನಮ್ ದೇಶದವರು
imbalanced.
ಸರ್ಕಲ್ 5.
Okay.
ಈ ತರ
So
ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್
here,
ಮಾತ್ರ.
this
ಮೋರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ನೀವು ವಿಶಾಲ
person
ಆಗ್ತೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ your crookedness will go
Yes.
away. He uses
Anxiety is very
mathematics to explain it.
anxiety
The
is
more
high.
and more you ವಿಶಾಲ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
reliability is
ನಿಮ್
very low.
crookedness ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ,
Reliability is
ಭೇದ
easily
ಭಾವ ಕಮ್ಮಿ
triggered.
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಫುಲ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್.
Easily
ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ
Yeah.
ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೀಡ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಪಿಕ್ಟೋರಿಯಲಿ showed what he was saying. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ
Okay.
ಸಮದರ್ಶನ ಏನು
easily
ಸಂಪಾದನೆ
triggered,
ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
easily
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ
triggered,
these are all very
preoccupied,
important. These are all the signs of evolution for individual.
Very
God has
observing.
created human being only for this.
observing.
Otherwise we'll be competing with
Okay,
animals.
because he
Don't
gets
do any of this.
anxious.
ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮನುಷ್ಯ
Okay,
ಜನ್ಮಗಳು.
very observing. So
That's why
reliability is
day
very
one
low.
is that
Anxiety is high.
ದುರ್ಲಭಂ ತ್ರಯೀಮೇತತ್.
Could be
Manushyatam is the
hypersensitive.
first one.
Hypersensitive.
Is what he says.
Hypersensitive. Low
Manushyatam,
efficiency.
Mukshatam, Mahapurusha
And very
Samshaya.
low
That's what
efficiency.
Viveka Chudamani starts. That
So what would you like to
Manushyatam,
call
human
this
beings
gentleman?
only can
Or
do
lady?
all these. All these are a vyapara of the manas on the right direction, or a vyapara in which manas is kept at the back.
Imbalance,
Today I gave an example of a beggar comes, what do we do?
Okay.
How the mind and brain work.
Yeah, yeah. What it
Udharana
is,
kotte,
what
before
else?
yesterday.
What
So
are-
it all is
overall,
the disposition of the
what is the
mind.
crowd feeling?
Low
The mind is
efficiency.
rightly disposed. All this
Low
will happen.
efficiency.
Broad-mindedness,
Inefficiency.
everything that we see. Circle will become bigger,
Okay.
bigger and bigger.
Anybody else would like
They
to
are
vote?
there.
What would you prefer?
Empathy and
Imbalanced
compassion.
person.
It will soften your heart.
Imbalanced person.
Sympathy
Okay,
is
so this
Madhubadu.
gentleman
2 and 4.
Sympathy.
Such a
Nobody
high
wants sympathy. Sympathy means there's a
high
gravity.
maintenance.
ನೀವು ಒಂದು height ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಹಣ
Okay,
ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯ.
yeah, so we will
ಪಾಪ
ask.
ತಗೋ.
And,
ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸರು ದರಿದ್ರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು.
high
That's
maintenance.
it's a very different
Because
experience.
the person is always emotional.
Empathy and
If it's
compassion.
a, of course, if
That
it's a
should grow.
corporate company,
We need
hardly,
heartedness.
forgive my
That
spelling
will become a
mistakes.
reality.
Hardly,
ವ್ಯವಹಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮದರ್ಶನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು.
right? So high
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ
maintenance.
ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು.
So I'll put emotionally balanced.
Eventually there is a drop in the desire.
Okay, and some of
As it becomes larger and larger, that ನೈಷ್ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮ will become our way of life. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಏನು ಬೇಡ. ಸ್ವಭಾವವಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That desirelessness is the ultimate thing to reach.
Reliability is
Chitta
high.
Shuddhi, that is step one for mumukshutva.
Is low.
You have to have the
Okay.
Chitta
So what
Shuddhi.
would be
The
the
Chitta Shuddhi
characteristic
will
of
come
this
only
person?
when we reach here.
Confident.
Highly
The
efficient.
desire must slowly
Efficient,
drop. But you
confident,
find if you
efficient,
drop your desire, you work better.
committed,
Think you how
committed.
students all the time ask, "Yes, sir, you desire illandre yaake kelsa madoda?" I said, "You try and come and tell me. Don't dream. Try.
Anyone
Why are you
want it?
reading and reading and reading and analyzing your brain? Try
Well,
here.
mature, achiever.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ try ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಾ. Let us do a discussion.
Stable.
Then we'll ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ.
Okay.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
Stable.
ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ. Why are you
Okay,
just
what
wasting
would you
your
like to
time
choose next time?
analyzing some sentence saying it cannot
This
happen?
is
I have to
something
have
very
anubhava.
important.
How much have you tried?
Anything
Then
will go.
I sometimes ask the
Mature.
students,
Because it's good.
Confident.
mature,
soften our
stable.
heart, change
Okay,
our perspective
mature,
of life.
stable,
These are all very, very
confident.
important.
Okay, so this is
Jnana
something
will bring
nice to
all
be
that
highly reliable
without us
and
asking.
have very low anxiety. Okay. Now, here
Sarvabhutasthikam
Reliability
yomam
is high and anxiety is also high.
Swamastitah
So what would you like to call this person?
sarvata
must be very scary for me.
vartamanopi sayogi mai
Okay,
vartate
scary.
sarvabhutasthikam yah mam bhajati ekatvam astitah sarvata vartamanah api sah yogi mai vartate.
But I guess,
So
you know,
sarvata
scary or,
vartamano api,
that
that's the
would
most
be
important
more
thing. He will
because
not
the
give up
quadrant
everything.
number 2 for me than 4. Here at least
He will be part of it. He will not give up anything.
Equates the
But
output
because
somewhere. I'm getting back something rather than what
sarvabhutasthikam
I'm getting.
mam yah bhajati,
Okay. Yeah,
he
anyway,
knows
the
I
person
am
gets things
everywhere.
done. Right?
If
Even though the
that
person is very
is,
anxious, the person
you know,
gets things done.
worshipping me
Task master.
in the jhana, he is able to develop that experience and
Aggressive,
that vision for
anxious.
him.
Let me
Sarvabhutasthikam
anxiously get things done.
yah bhajati ekatvam astitah, by gathering his mind into a single pointed focus.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Stressful.
Sarvata vartamanopi.
Stressful is
What
a
he
good
does
word. Yeah.
will not
Yeah,
spoil
this
him.
is a tension party.
The work will not
Okay,
affect him.
yes.
For us, the problem is work put so much of problem because we cannot come home and sleep after a day's work. There's so many problems are working us. We don't know how to leave it and come.
Okay. So I'm not getting into the
Why?
angry
Because
side.
Mahi Vartate.
Pretenders
He
are angry, but this
resides
is
and
anxious.
revels in me. Adalla avaru
Attention
helidare.
type.
So if the quadrant
Right?
3 would be hands off
He has
for
said
me,
Atma Ramanaha, Atmanyeva
as in you have to hand
Tishyati,
over.
alla helidare. Because
Yeah,
his
yeah.
thought resides
So what is the
in
word
me,
that would
he will work.
most of you prefer?
He will continue with his
Efficiency
whatever he has to
gets
do.
anxiously
He has
get.
this vision that will drive him in whatever he does.
Okay, okay.
It will not
So by doing this
really trouble for
exercise,
him. He will be a
what
very
we are
useful
learning is
member
the
of this
relationship
society. I'm
between
telling you.
reliability and
You know,
anxiety.
there is a lot of misconception. You
Right,
become a
and then
yogi, you
seeing
become
which
useless, you have
zone
to
would
have
you
your
like to be.
kashaya and then, you know, give
Are
up
you a
everything,
person who
go.
is very
All those are
anxiously
not
getting
at all
things
true.
done?
These
Is
are
where that you
all
want
made
to
in the
be,
last 200 years.
or you want to be in quadrant
It's not
3,
that. It is
or
only karma
you are
pala
an
tyaga.
easygoing
Sannyasa is
person,
only karma
or
pala
either you
tyaga.
are
Rest are
reliable
all,
or you are
sannyasa will
anxious,
come and attach you. As I
or
told
you
you, you
are
cannot take
have a
sannyasa.
lot of
Sannyasa has
anxiety,
to
but
take you.
nothing gets done.
Me taking sannyasa and
Mostly
all will not
imbalanced,
work. They're all
right?
not the
So
right
this
thing.
gives us some kind of
So
an
the people
idea.
taking
This is
sannyasa
just a
have
deep
created so
thinking
much trouble for
exercise.
ashrams because they have other
And
things
attachment
which they
style
take
also,
sannyasa.
there are
That's not what it is.
certain
Sannyasa
factors
will take
that
you.
we
You
can
don't even
understand
know
it
when
better
it
if we
takes you. So
understand
we
the
don't have to worry
relationship
about
between
it. Let us do
these
karma
topics.
palatya.
So I picked up this
So Krishna
topic,
is saying, karma
reliability,
palatyaga is
anxiety,
sannyasa. And that is
so that
yoga.
we understand our attachment science
Practical,
thoroughly,
simple
because we should
ideas to
know.
live, not complicated
Because a
rocket
lot of
science.
people say, I can't
That
make
is the
sense of
charm
my
of
emotion,
Indian scriptures,
right?
particularly
But
Gita.
emotions
I
are
think
rational.
this
We
we will
can
have
make
to stop
sense of
here.
it.
It's already 8 o'clock.
So I'm going to
1
create
minute.
1, 2,
Stop
3,
here
4, 5
and
groups,
continue tomorrow.
and you go into the breakout room, and one of you please open up a PPT or a Word doc or something, so that us people speak again, like how all of you are giving ideas, I was able to put it in a whiteboard. Like that, open up that and then create 4 quadrants, right? So first you create x-axis, y-axis. I'll just show you this. Maybe you can take a screenshot of this, what we have done. Okay, you create x-axis, y-axis. You can take a screenshot of this, so that, of course, here we have taken multiple names, but when you go into breakout room, through voting system, choose only one name.